Testing, testing. Mic test.
Testing, testing. Mic.
Okay. And we are alive. Okay? We're alive. Okay? We're alive. Welcome to day 40. We are still alive. We're still on the balcony. Boy, have I missed you. I miss the balcony for many reasons. It's a lot more private. I feel like I can speak my thoughts more clearly. I can, there's less worry about people watching me, you know. Um, there's less going on. I mean, the people watching me doesn't really matter anymore. Like, I'm cool with it. But I'm a very kind of, respectable and respectful person. So when I'm in public, I don't like to be too loud, you know. That's not the point of this. I'm not trying to, be loud and abrasive and try to get as much attention that way. Remember, we don't do TikTok dances. Albeit there are people in the building directly opposite me, about probably 30 meters, 40 meters away, if my spatial awareness is correct, maybe 50, who could be watching right now. Maybe there's someone that watches every night. Maybe there's someone who waits. Maybe there's someone who looks upon YouTube every night or TikTok and hopes to come across me. But the fact that there's 0 people here means that we're good. We're solid. We're golden. Okay? And we're going to talk about something specific. It is day 40. I've got a fresh cut. And I'm feeling good. Okay? It's nice and hot outside, so it's not going to be too long of a live. But if you clicked on the thumbnail, then you're going through what I'm going through. Okay? Oftentimes in life, whenever we undertake something difficult, and boy, is this difficult. When we undertake something difficult, we find ourselves, let me center myself. I'm always leaning in like I'm dropping some sauce. But maybe I can just relax. Maybe I can just relax. Oftentimes in life, we come across challenges that seem out of our grasp, one step too far, you know? And things of that nature have always bothered me because I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn, and I have often been called overconfident. But some would say, I would say, that I am just hopeful, full of hope. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. And I've noticed a trend like that of people talking about this a lot. But the videos I've seen were like from a year ago. And, well, my problem is for now. So, what's relevant? Yesterday I spoke about, what did I speak about? Societal cycles. The day before, being 10 years behind in the Valley of Despair, that stuff. Today I saw a video from Alex Hermosi basically talking about the same thing. He was being interviewed by someone, and he was talking about the Valley of Despair. And he said pretty much out of what I said, and then I'm like, well, geez, of course he knows it. Of course Alex Hermosi knows it. You know, he does this. He does this. And he's someone who's made it past the Valley of Despair many times. And I'm someone who's always struggled with that. So if you look at the thumbnail, I'm going to pull it up. I like this. It's like I have graphics. I like this. Getting walled. What does that mean? The wall. Hitting the wall. It comes from long distance runners. Um, they come to a point where their body is completely dead, completely spent. Their joints have kind of worked to their limit. Their cardiovascular system has worked to its limit. And it's almost like your body won't move forward. Like there's a wall in front of you, right? There's no wall here. This is the beginning. You find out something interesting, you take a step, and you see this. And you're like, well, I can go there, but there's a wall there. If I take another step, there's a wall. The next step is blocked. I've done the preliminaries. I've seen something interesting. I've made the first step. I've made the second step. You know, I've given time to this. And then you have this big old thing right in front of you. And what is that? You know, if you're not following along, it's this. It's a big old brick wall. It's a big old brick wall. Okay? And that just happens with everything. Whether it's something easy, whether it's something difficult, there's always a wall, but the variability of how difficult that wall is different, depending on how difficult of a thing you undertake. And fortunately, for me, new ideas, creating something new, is often marred by these. Because I know once I break through this, I'm going to have this, right? And there's someone already here, right? I can hear them across the wall. I'm like, oh, people are past this? Oh, there's someone here as well? And I can only just see their foot. You know, I can see him mostly. But this guy, he's far out of vision. What the hell do I do? You know? It's not easy. It's not easy. Oh, I'm on data suddenly. I want to switch to Wi-Fi, but it won't. I wonder if I just switch. Switch to Wi-Fi. Wow. I wonder if I just switch. Okay, it's working, which is good. This is good. This is good. We're now on Wi-Fi. Cool. Unfortunately, we're also hitting the wall, right? This is the wall, big old brick wall, right? And I think in today's age, this brick wall right here is a representation of our attention, right? How long can you think of nothing for? I'll tell you the answer, not very long. If you have access to this live, and chances are you're quite the little doom scroller, you know? And it sucks. It sucks. And it's one of the issues that plagues our society. Um, and that's not your fault. Does that make sense? I haven't explained it, but does it make sense? Our brains are like every other part of our body, right? If you go to the gym and you lift some weight, over time, those muscles get bigger and that weight gets easier to hold, right? But what about your attention, right? How often do you pick up the phone to check what the hell's going on? What are you missing when you pick up the phone? What are you missing when you don't pick it up? Would be the better way of saying that. But that's not an illness. That is a consequence. Our bodies are adaptable, right? We want that dopamine. And unfortunately, this is just a very fast way of getting dopamine. It's fun. It's great. It's not a bad thing. It's great. Unfortunately, it's too good. It's like heroin. Wouldn't it be great if you could just try heroin once, lose a few days from your life, and never touch it again, right? Unfortunately, heroin's just too damn good. And so is your phone. You pick it up and bada boom, bada bing, it's 3 hours later and you don't remember what you watched. You don't remember what you shared, right? And that itself is a consequence of your brain's adaptability. Your brain just adapts, right? You're addicted to this thing, so it just adapts to it. You start not even noticing what you're watching because you're getting that quick dopamine hit because your brain is narrowing its attention. It's getting an overload of attention, so it hones in. It focuses on very specific things. Your ability to be, what do you call it? Surprise. Your ability to be, ability to feel anything for what's on the screen changes because there's just so much, right? That's what desensitization is. And you could work to mediate that, you know, put down the phone. But if you've been raised on it, if you have been using phones your entire life, you're just addicted to screens, your synapses form a certain way, and screens become a part of you. And that can be considered sad. And depending on what kind of content you consume, you could become quite desensitized. But your attention is a useful tool, and it's also an incredible resource because if it wasn't, then every single company in the world wouldn't have psychologists um, trying to figure out how to get you to not come off the screen. And that's what the algorithm's for. Algorithms like just throw you different content, the right kind of content based on stuff you have seen, to make sure that you stay on that screen. It's smart. It's smart. It sees an adaptability of the brain, and it takes advantage of that. It exploits it. You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Getting people's attention is not a bad thing. I would argue that it's our fault for not putting down the screen, right? You got to put down the screen. It's crack. Sure, the people making the crack are responsible, but it's not illegal. So what are you going to do? You're just going to keep taking crack? Your attention is a currency. They make money off of your attention. Your brain is malleable, you know? Despite what they might say that your brain stops developing after 25 and you're much more rigid in your beliefs as you age, which is true. But that's only because um, you're only less malleable in the later stages of your life is because you've come to realize certain perceived truths about life, and those become rigid. And all you have to do to get your attention is to break that truth, somehow. And there you go, there you are. You are now malleable again. So just because you're older doesn't mean you're not malleable. What is the point of this? What is the point of this? Your brain is malleable, you're addicted to your phone, you've adapted to the screen. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Attention is such a difficult thing to harness. I wasn't, like I grew up in a transitionary phase from social media where there was nothing and then there was everything. And that's all it takes. It's enough, you know? And it's a really easy thing to give, but to take is far more difficult. And I guess that's what I've been struggling with. Taking attention from people. And I think I'm being wrapped up in the kind of thought of it. I'm being wrapped up in the thought of it, and I'm not realizing what's in front of me, right? So I've tried a bunch of different strategies, and I finally landed on what I want to do, and it's like I've hit a wall. I've hit a wall. I'm on day 40. I've come a long way. I've discovered quite a bit about what I'm studying. And I am now staring deeply and having candlelight dinner with this old bad boy. A brick wall right in front of me. And so what do you do? What do you do? You see a brick wall and you stand there looking at it. You stand there looking at the brick wall, like, how could I get past this? You could punch it. I could run back a little and run into it. I could try to find a tool, maybe a pickaxe. All valid strategies, even the punching one. Enough punches and that wall comes down. I run at it enough times and that wall comes down. Pickaxe might be faster. But the whole point of this is to do this without the pickaxe because when everybody's looking for gold, you should be selling shovels. So if I'm buying the shovel, if I'm buying the pickaxe, then I'm on the wrong side of things. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch the wall. I'm going to punch it. And I'm going to punch it from all angles, in the same spot, in different spots. I'm gonna feel the wall, see if I find some parts that could fall off. I'm gonna kick it. All these metaphors are essentially me saying I am gonna now throw whatever I can at this wall to break into the next step of it. Because there's another wall there. And to spend too much time on this wall is silly. I know what attention is. I've studied it. I've read books. I know the breakdown of content. Now when I watch content, if I watch it, I'm looking out for it. I'm like, oh, that's a good hook. That's an interesting format. I like the editing. That was highly produced. That was more simple, and yet it still caught a lot of attention. And the best kind of content that you find like that, that's really good, that reaches masses, is the ones with the least, the channels and accounts with the least amount of followers and subscribers. Those are the best ones to look for because they did something that the algorithm said, even though you don't have a lot of people following you, this will get people's attention. You get rewarded. Here is a viewer bump. Please take it. You see a wall in front of you, and most people will just head back. Their knuckles will bleed. They might get a concussion from running at it too hard. Might start losing skin from swinging that pickaxe. But unfortunately, that's why they call it blood, sweat, and tears. The worst part is, the first one through the wall gets bloodied. That's from Moneyball. The first one through the wall gets bloodied. And I'd rather be doing this and studying this and figuring this out than be doing anything else. That's what you have to realize, right? If you're stuck, ask yourself the question, would I be doing anything else? And the answer is no, at least for me. And if the answer is yes, maybe you need to rethink. Part of what I enjoy about these lives is I get to say that out loud, and it feels good. It's like reinforcement. It's like, yes, I said it out loud and I believe it. I'd rather be doing this than anything else, so might as well punch the wall. If I get bloodied, okay. If a bunch fails, it's okay. If a video doesn't get enough views, it's okay. If it doesn't catch people's attention, it's okay. Make the next one. I heard this thing, it was like your first, either it was Mr. Beast or someone, your first 100 videos are going to suck. They're going to suck. And they're going to suck for one reason or another. And so you just got to keep going. I heard this thing from Alex Hormozy. He keeps popping up on my feed because I keep searching up, like, researching on YouTube and all these other things, business stuff and attention and content and whatnot. There's like, to be in the 1% of podcasts, you have to do 21 podcasts. Most people just make it to one. And if you can make it to 21, you're probably going to learn something along the way. And that's a good thing. So I'm going to do the equivalent of making 21 podcasts, but for short form content. And I'm going to do them in the way I do best. Cutting corners. I enjoy cutting corners, not because I like shortcuts, but I do stay wary of shortcuts. If I feel like I'm doing too much of a shortcut, I'll stop myself. But I do like shortcuts. I do like efficiency, right? When I studied film, and when I figured out just how much effort and how many people it takes to make a film, boy, it was exhausting just to think about. Like, I bet I could just do this at home with whatever, right? And now people make short films on their phone all the time. You get the equivalent of films and excellent storytelling on TikTok alone in the portrait format. So I was right. I just didn't act on it. And then with this stuff, it's like, Yeah, you could throw money at the problem, but why do that? In the back of my mind, there's always this, what if there's a better solution out there? And there often is. You just have to find it. It's always behind a brick wall. It's always behind a brick wall. And yeah, I am currently behind a brick wall. And, there's some problems with attention I could probably handle a little better, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's like, I learned how, okay, I'll give you an example. I learned how to swim quite late. And treading water is still something that I'm uncomfortable with. I don't quite get it. But throughout my school time, we used to go to the swimming pool once a week during physical education. We would swim for like half an hour, and then we'd drive back to school. And I never quite got it. I never quite got it. And then years later, just sitting on the idea, just thinking about it, I come across a pool, and it's like something clicks. Because I sat in that idea for long enough. I had enough time in the water, flailing around, drowning almost, that something just clicked mentally. And it's like you can't even put a word to it. You can't even put a word to it. You can't put a sentence to it. Not unless you really dissect it. But, that's not something I really dissected. But this is something I'm trying to dissect. So, it feels impossible. That's what the wall is, trying to dissect that thing. But back to the swimming, suddenly I just figured it out. That flailing, without a teacher present, that flailing just turned into strokes. Pause. And suddenly I knew how to swim. So it's like in Mad Men, right? He talks about, you surround yourself, you bury yourself in it, and you learn as much as you can. And then when you're overwhelmed and you reach a block, you just take a step back and you let the idea come to you. And so now I'm just sitting in the idea. And I'm going to get through that wall before someone else does. I want to be bloodied, right? That's kind of mindset you have to have. I'm the one who will break through the wall, and I will be the one that gets bloodied. Was that JFK? Did I just do JFK? We are at war. That was terrible. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's like with going live, right? I've tried live streaming a few times. I tried doing like a like League of Legends stream, but it was always too tough because we had shitty internet. So I'd always lose every game I streamed, and I went from like a 53% win rate to like a 40% win rate, and I just stopped streaming because I'm like, oh, this sucks. My pain is too sucky, and I'm not good enough to deal with the shitty pain. And now it's just like, you know, just sit in front of the camera and talk. Just just get it over with. None of this is planned. I came up with a thumbnail 5 minutes before I started this. The idea for today's topic, a minute before that. Pulled out my computer, made the thumbnail, had a couple talking points in my head, barely, went live. The stories, they just come out. And it's easy to do it because it's not a lie. This is truth. If it was a lie, I'd probably have a harder time coming up with something. But because it's just truth, it's just a conversation. Hello, 0 viewers. Welcome to the live. Honestly, it's almost more nerve-wracking when someone joins the live. Because then it's like it's like I've left my little room. Someone's just walked into a room and I was just talking to myself. I wonder if there are schizophrenic components to live streaming to 0 people. I wonder that. But I'm doing okay off stream, so I think I'm okay for now. You know what I mean? The goal is not to have too much dead space, so I'm gonna just fill this with something to say. If I leave too much dead space, then I'm not firing up the neurons to try and come up with things to say. So, getting kind of hot, and we're about a half an hour in. Just gonna check the phone. We're good. Yes. What do you do when you see a wall in front of you? You keep going. That's what I learned so far. Every time I've hit an obstacle, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do. I have no clue what I'm doing. It's empty space in front of me, and I'm creating a path behind myself. That's what it feels like. It's quite mentally taxing, but that's the point. Tax the brain, spend those brain calories, and eventually a path will emerge long enough for you to be the tour guide. I made that up on the spot. I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that one. That was good. It's like a flow of consciousness, almost like a conversation. That was Norm Macdonald's. There's not much to talk about, man. I'm just seeing maybe I come up with something else to say. Maybe I could go longer. Maybe I can talk about something else. It's quite hot today. I didn't go out. But I think I'm not going to go out much or any. I think I want to be locked in my room for a little bit. Be locked indoors. And I want to be on the screen. I want to be doing this. I want to be doing this for as much as I can. Time on the screen. That's all that matters. Stay in the pocket. Keep punching the wall. I may have to uh, go to a nearby location to, you know, record some videos. There's a place I record videos, like a communal area. Lucky to have that. I could just do it on the balcony. I could just record on the balcony. Unfortunately, for some reason, this turns into the door to hell um, during the daytime. There's very little wind, but if I'm there, if there's more wind, then I can talk without looking like a sweaty mess. There is I could just get a fan here, which is a fair assessment. I could just get a fan, actually. But yeah, that's where we're at. I think I'm going to end it here. You get to the wall, you keep going forward. People have done it before. You'll be able to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in the next 60 days or less. I have to. challenge. If not, then no, I'm gonna do it. There is no not. There is no not. No, there is no not. It has to happen. Am I delusional? Probably. Am I overconfident? Some may say. But is it gonna happen any other way? Nuh-uh. You have to be delusional to think that you're gonna break a wall with your bare fists. There, I said it. But the only ones delusional enough to hit a brick wall with their fists are the only ones that are going to break through that wall. And you don't know how thick that wall is. Maybe it's really thick, and watch your health. But oftentimes the wall is not as thick as you may think it is. And if you just stay in the problem long enough, you'll figure a way out. And going to be doing a lot of figuring out tonight. Did quite a bit of trying to figure it out today as well, and yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and the 40 days before that. It's just how it is. You keep going till you figure it out. I just see, you can see the sweat forming. See, it is very hot. Oh no, you can't. It was just shading. I just exposed myself. That's all right. So yep, we're gonna punch the wall until we get lean and efficient. And unfortunately, the challenge has just begun. It's the way it is. I heard this. I heard this Elon Musk quote. It's like entrepreneurship. I guess I could call myself that, at least in the early stages. Entrepreneurship is waking up every day and choosing to eat glass. That's something, right? I like that. All right. Well, that's been me. You go on the balcony with a fresh trim. It has been lovely to make your acquaintance. Whoever does watch this eventually. And hopefully you got some value out of that. You know, there have been times in life where a brick wall has deterred me. Many a time. And if this message gets to you, just know if you stay in the pocket long enough, that wall comes down and you might get a little bit bloodied. But you're going to realize that not many people are willing to punch down that wall. And you did it. That puts you ahead. And when you get to that next wall, you're going to know exactly what to do. Okay? It's been real. Be good. do good things, subscribe, and good things happen. And this is Hugo on the balcony with a fresh trim. I will see you tomorrow.